We've learned so much about what dyslexia is and isn't. We know it's a brain-based condition that impacts reading, spelling, and writing, but it's not a problem with vision. Dyslexia is a problem with understanding and working with language. Dyslexia is a lifelong issue that tends to run in families, so there's often a parent or a sibling who also has it. And brain imaging studies have shown us that there are differences in how the brain is structured and how it functions in people who have dyslexia. But it's important to know that dyslexia has nothing to do with intelligence. Children with dyslexia are just as smart as other children. We can see signs of dyslexia even before children learn to read. Reading is a complicated process that starts with being able to recognize individual sounds in words. Take the word elephant. Most children at a young age can recognize 3 parts in that word. Elephant. But the child with dyslexia might not hear that "phant" is actually made up of 4 different sounds. F, I, N, T. They may only hear 1 or 2. Reading and spelling are hard for kids with dyslexia because first they have to hear those individual sounds, and then they have to understand that each of those sounds is represented by 1 or more letters. Children with dyslexia usually have difficulty with this basic language skill, which is called phonemic awareness. So you might see your child having trouble with rhyming or isolating the sounds in words. That makes it difficult for your child to match letters to their sounds, like knowing that S sounds like S or that SH sounds like SH. This skill is called decoding, and children use it to sound out words. We know a lot about what can help children with these skills. The most important thing is specialized reading instruction. A well-known approach is called Orton-Gillingham. It helps children to learn to break words down into their component sounds, match the sounds to letters, and then blend those sounds together. Reading programs based on Orton-Gillingham use multisensory techniques. So children might trace letters in sand while saying that letter and its sound, or clap out syllables in words. These methods are proven to be effective. There are also tools like audiobooks, text-to-speech software, and reading apps that can help children with dyslexia. You can help your child at home by reading aloud together every day. Choosing books that tap into your child's passions can help develop an interest in reading. Playing rhyming games, reading nursery rhymes, and singing songs can also be a fun way to help younger children build early reading skills. It's important to know that even though children don't outgrow dyslexia, they can become skilled readers and strong learners. With the right support, they can succeed in school and in life.
Of things for dyslexia. I got plenty of videos, but this is what I decided to start with. Dyslexia is a learning disability. Dyslexia have trouble reading at good pace without mistakes. They may also have a hard time reading with comprehension and spelling and writing. But these challenges aren't a problem with intelligence. We are using the same site, which is Understanding for Dyslexia, as we did for the video. For me, dyslexia is a comprehension where I struggle with the most. So reading a chapter and then taking a test on a chapter isn't what is easy for me. So I have to go through the chapter and do a chapter review. That was a strategy for me in school. I would also have to have a reader help me for the words I didn't understand the questions or the word in the question. Another strategy would be listen to a book on audio. Now, if something related such as sports or radio or television, of course that I would be interested in, that's depending on how interested I am in the subject. For example, in my 3rd year of taking a class that was not interesting, I had to take a class on conglomerate TV stations, which is a monopoly of TV stations. Basically, there's 6. I'll bore you with the rest of the. So I had to study, even though it was like hell studying, and it didn't work. and I get disinterested from the class even though I tried hard and was having a low C. I'll bore you with the rest of this stuff. What I do when I have something hard with me, I yawn when it's first to sit down and do the subject. Another example may be hard. Another thing I want to point out to professors, is it more important to understand the definition? Well, it's obviously more important to understand the chapter. You learn more, right? But plenty of college teachers go to vocabulary, and that's not what the class is if it's psychology. If you want to teach a vocabulary subject, then you teach reading. But you got to go over what the class really is, or what the content of the chapter is for the most part. Another thing I might mix up is John, from, or form. Still hard for me. I had to dictate the speech. Now we go on to my strengths. You may not know that can help everyone. I'm going to go over strategies that can help everyone, just one though. We're talking about a subject good at is kindness, math. I know you're, and especially sometimes reading. Writing, because of my dyslexia, is a weakness. Helping people, you may say anybody can help people, but that's untrue. Especially if you experience something and you have the skills to understand what is going on through the mind, you may be able to help the person. For example, if somebody had schizoaffective disorder, I believe I would be one of the most applicable persons to help that person in the world, because I struggle with it, besides maybe doctors or whatever. Another weakness is geometry. For example, long division problems that, because of dysgraphia, similar to dyslexia, it affects the writing, and also visual spatial issues. Or that's why I struggle with division problems. Knowing things about my strength and talking, knowing one of my strengths is talking, and I've worked so hard on that on podcasts, talking with my therapist, helping me understand about I have that kind of understanding, which helps for when someone needs help to understand me or something about myself. And now we're going to do a snapshot of what dyslexia is. Dyslexia is a common condition and hard work language. Some people, experts, between 5 and 10% have, others say as many as 17% of people show signs of it. Reading challenges. People with dyslexia outgrow, but they are teaching approaches and strategies that can help them improve reading skills and manage challenges. People of any age can be tested for dyslexia, although tests are different for adults than kids. And now, on to how to do MacBook speech and dictate a word into the computer. Here's the example. After I looked it over a few times, about 10, then I had to figure out what I was doing, and then I had to figure out where to go. I figured it out. You go to keyboard. You say that this is a setting, and you can change it to Control D, or you can customize it to something else. So we can customize it to Command X, and that's the way you do it. Now I'm going to recustomize it to Control D, and that's the way you do it. You can have it any setting you want to save it. Don't do Control S, because that's when you save it. But you can do Control D, Control F, maybe. Just any one that you can think of that is not a shortcut that you already know. So I hope that's helpful for people to follow along and help our MacBook speech. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam's Learning Disability Day.